My name is Aharon. It's not a mistake, despite of the fact that the spelling says that it is a mistake. That's my name. And I'm managing the Israel Innovation Authority. So one of the things that every one of you know is that Israel the world is facing a lot of changes in technology. And the pace of changes is getting smaller and smaller. So one of the slides that I like in order to explain how smaller it is the following slide. The question is, how long did it take for a certain product to get to 50 million users? If we are talking about the first phone, it took 75 years to get to 50 million users. If I'm talking about the first TV set, it took 13 years to get to 50 million users. If I'm jumping to Facebook, so Facebook took 3.5 years to get to 50 million users. However, when we are talking about Pokemon Go, it took 35 days to get to 50 million users. Now, the pace has to be with, first of all, it's exponential, and second, it's global. Because you cannot get to 50 million users only by a certain country or certain place. So we are talking about being, first of all, global, and second, exponential. So exponential, Ari, very nice slide. I saw it only in printing, so I didn't know that it is moving. So exponential change is everywhere. And I'm going to give you a few examples about exponential change. I believe that those examples are very nice examples about how exponential the world is. So first of all, the normal processing power, or processing transaction in a certain chip. So this is exponential by far. We started with Moore's law, and today we see an exponential number of transactions in every computing processing. Another example is the mobile phones in the world. So today we have 9 billion mobile phones over the world. By the way, it's 1.5 for a person or 1.23 for a person. But we see the high jump in year 2000 and 2004 that we are really global and exponential in the usage of mobile phones all over the world. Another example, which brings us to a very sophisticated usage, is the way of full sequencing of the genome for a human. So it started by $100 million when it started 2001, and today it's around $300 to get full sequencing of the human genome. So when it is 100 million, it opens up certain applications that are very unique. If it is $300, it changes the full ecosystem. So this is something to remember. Another example, which you probably are not less familiar with, but to launch 1 kilogram of payload to the space, it took $100,000. It's an amazing number, $100,000 for a single kilogram to launch it. Today, the cost is around $1,000 or a little bit less, and it's going down. So again, here, it opens up applications that in the past were unable to execute. So we are in a good shape in that regard. And another number, which is again exponential, are the number of unicorns in the States. So we started in year 2014 to have a few unicorns, less than 20, 30. Today, the number of unicorns in the States is booming, and you are familiar with most of them. But in Israel, it's the same phenomenon. Today, the numbers that is listed here is 15. I got the new number is 22. So we have 22 unicorns in Israel. So it's a big change from what used to be in the past. What is the message here? Normally, people are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. I would like to say a few words about the fifth one, okay? So for the first industrial revolution was mechanization. It took 130 years to get from mechanization to, do you know to read it? Electrification. Yes, I'm fine. So it took 130 years. From electrification to automation, it took another 70 years. When we are talking about from automation to digitization, it took 10 years? No, 40 years. Now, what is the next stage? The next stage is personalization. And it's going to happen starting next year, but it's 10 years from the previous revolution. What is personalization? We see it all over the world. We don't call it normally personalization, but this is a very strong message that I would like to convey in this conference. Let's take a few examples. Two people that have a disease, cancer disease, have the same tumor, but probably two different mutations. Those people are going to get two different drugs that will cure the mutation, despite of the fact that they have the same tumor. So this is a way to personalize for each person a disease that can be cured by a certain medicine, a certain drug. Another example is a company, cosmetic company in Japan. And the cosmetic company in Japan decided to tailor-made the cosmetics that a woman should use based on her mood, based on her skin situation, based on the temperature outside, etc., etc. So they are providing specific cosmetics or specific cream for this woman, and this is something that we are seeing, again, personalization such that you will better use the cosmetics that you're using. Another thing, and it's not yet a revolution, is the Nike Fit. When you put your shoes, everything is being 3D imaging, and then you are getting the best fit. But what I would like to see here is a little bit farther, such that they will tailor-make the shoes for you. So they are in the process, they will get it. A phrase that I like is the Holy Grail will no longer be the robots, but the human creativity. Because in order to meet the personalization, you have to have the human creativity that will be, you know, the one that will differentiate between solutions that everyone can have to your own solutions. Now, we are talking a lot, what will be the destiny of the humans in the revolution that is happening to us. And I believe that what we see all over is, first of all, the human creativity will continue to bloom, and the human soft skills will be more dominant than they used to be in the past, and they will prevail. So the question is, in front of this sentence, 65% of those people that are joining school today will be in a profession that doesn't exist today. So the question is what to do. So here's the answer from a government perspective. The answer from a government perspective is don't touch if it works. So that's a very strong statement. But what we have to do is to convince our partners at the government to reduce bureaucracy and regulations when it is needed. The second one is to provide the infrastructure such that academia and industry can work together effectively. Infrastructure might be money, might be physical infrastructure, might be human resources, so everything that is needed in order to provide the business, and not to intervene with the private sector. However, if there are market failures, to intervene when it is required, in market failures only. So this is the message as the government, and the best, Yossi, you will like this one. This is an Albert Einstein statement, of course many years ago, that says that when technology will prevail the human capabilities, then we are going to live in a generation of idiots. Thank you very much.